You're surrounded. Step out with your hands up. That's what the megaphone yelled, and I'll tell you, it's not the way you want to start a Tuesday morning. I'm barefoot on my porch, coffee mug steaming, boxer shorts flapping in the breeze, squinting into the sunrise like a deer in headlights except instead of headlights, it's 4 sheriff's deputies, crouched behind squad cars with their guns pointed right at my gate. For a split second, I'm thinking, is this some kind of messed up prank? I mean, seriously, what did I do forget to pay a parking ticket? But then, just beyond the deputies, I spot her. Lorraine Mitchell, president of the Willow Crest HOA, arms folded, teal blouse glinting, standing like a peacock next to her golf cart, HOA badge shining. She's smirking, loving every second of this circus. The thing is, I don't even live in an HOA. That's what made me buy this place 18 acres of Texas sky and peace, just outside their border, as free as a man can get these days. No rules on my chicken coop, no fines for my fence color. But looking at Lorraine, I realized I was about to find out just how far someone would go to control what wasn't theirs. As 3 deputies moved in, hands on their belts, I felt a chill run down my back. My name's Nathan Cole. I'm 39, used to be a structural engineer, sold my firm last year to finally buy this ranch, give my labs Max and Riley a home, and chase quiet for a while. I double-checked everything before closing lawyer title surveys. This wasn't HOA land, no matter what Lorraine or her laminated welcome packet said. The first few weeks were everything I wanted. I built a shed, put up solar panels, started a little garden, watched the stars at night. Then the drone started, buzzing over my field at dawn, hovering just above my chicken coop. First I thought it was a neighbor kidding until it started coming every day, same time, low and deliberate. On the 4th morning, I'd had enough. Grabbed my BB gun, brought it down with 1 shot. Later that day, Lorraine showed up at my door, all business, clipboard, and a fake smile sharper than a switchblade. "Welcome to the neighborhood," she chirped like she hadn't just been caught spying on me. "We've had some complaints, noise, unapproved structures. I'm sure your realtor told you about our guidelines." "I'm not in your HOA," I told her, maybe a little too blunt. "That's what your paperwork says," she said, not missing a beat. "But we're a community, Nathan. We have standards." Then she handed me a stack of violation notices: noise, fence height, number of chickens, even my porch light. I figured, okay, she'll get bored and move on. Boy, was I wrong. The mail started getting lost. Fines arrived for things I hadn't done. My packages disappeared off the porch. One morning, I found my garden trampled, footprints leading right to where her golf cart tracks cut across my grass. When I brought it up to the sheriff, he shrugged it off. "Lorraine's passionate," he said, "but harmless." You know what I mean? It felt like I was the only one seeing the crazy. So I lawyered up. My attorney, Michael, sharp as a tack, told me to document everything. I put up cameras, built a 10-foot fence, and posted big signs. Private property, not HOA land. Lorraine didn't back down. She filed a county complaint, said my solar panels were unsightly, said my chicken coop didn't match the community aesthetic. Never mind that her HOA boundary stops 2 blocks from my place. The county sent a notice, and that's how I wound up with cops at my door, Lorraine standing there like she'd won. "Sir, reports say you're storing illegal equipment," one deputy said, scanning my shed. "Explosives." I nearly spit out my coffee. "Check it yourself," I told him, "but unless you're counting lawnmowers and propane tanks, someone's been feeding you garbage." Lorraine didn't even flinch. Then Max started barking full panic mode. I turned, caught a whiff of smoke behind my trailer. My heart dropped. Riley was tied up back there, near the gas tank. I ran barefoot, still in my boxers rounded the corner, and saw smoke pouring out of my generator, a rag smoldering in the vent. Grabbed a bucket, dumped rainwater on it, and freed Riley, who was shaking like a leaf. This wasn't an accident. Someone tried to torch my place, and they almost killed my dog. The deputies lowered their weapons. "Just tools," one said, poking around my shed. I glared at Lorraine. "Fake tips, trespassing, now arson. When does it stop?" She just stared at the horizon, lips tight. That's when things flipped. Fire investigators showed up, and my lawyers started connecting the dots: false reports, property damage, harassment. Michael was ready to go nuclear. We'll strip her license, sue, and make this public. We sent our story to the Willow Times, and suddenly, folks started coming forward. Turns out, Lorraine had been bullying a lot of people. The pressure built. The local paper ran a story, the sheriff started an investigation, and even Lorraine's lawyers started looking nervous. One night, a black SUV rolled by my gate slow. Next morning, I found a box on my porch inside, a dead sparrow and a drone photo of my ranch, time-stamped 3 days earlier. The message was clear: back off or else. But I wasn't alone anymore. Tom, a rancher up the road, called, said his kids had been threatened with CPS visits for too much noise. Sarah, another neighbor, found her mailbox smashed. A fire marshal confirmed my generator had been sabotaged, plain and simple. Then, Twist Ellie, a former HOA board member, came by with a flash drive full of dirt, emails, drone logs, evidence Lorraine's cousin Greg Ann, ex-treasurer, was her fixer. We handed everything to the sheriff. One night, Ellie looked out my window and spotted that same black SUV. "That's Greg," she whispered, and it peeled off into the dark. Next day, my chickens were gone, coop empty, fresh boot prints in the dirt. That was it. I sued Lorraine, Willow Crest HOA, and Greg for harassment, stalking, attempted arson, and theft. News spread like wildfire. My blog post about the saga went viral. Millions of views, people furious. The drama didn't stop. Lorraine tried to flip it, accused me of hostile conduct. But cameras caught her spying, and when reporters showed up, she peeled out, tires squealing. Tom called in a panic. Someone left a box on his fence, just like mine, with a photo of my house and a note. "You're next if you help him." The sheriff launched a task force, digging into HOA funds, and suddenly the state got involved. Things went fast from there. A drone buzzing my windows got shot down on its memory card, videos of my property inside my windows. The sheriff raided Lorraine's office, found a stack of burner phones, drone parts, and a slush fund labeled security. Turns out, Lorraine had been using HOA money to pay Greg and even hired outside muscle. CNN picked up the story. Greg got nabbed in Mississippi. Lorraine turned on her partners. But even as the dust settled, I couldn't shake the feeling I was still being watched. One morning, a neighbor dropped off a map 5 ranches circled, mine marked with a big red X. I want to check on the others. Ed lost his farm, foreclosed, everything taken. Laura's horse rescue poisoned. Mark's barn burned to the ground. Rachel's cottage torched. Each case a warning. He wouldn't sell, so we made him disappear. It all tied back to something bigger, a shadowy group, using HOAs to force folks off their land, snatching property for a resort project. I was just the first one to fight back and go public. State investigators rolled in, task force grew, and I testified with the others. Lorraine's ring fell apart. Greg pled out. Ellie helped the feds trace the money. 6 months on, my ranch is quiet mostly. New chickens cluck in the yard. Dogs chase each other under the solar panels, but my cameras stay on, gates locked tight. A neighbor dropped off a basket of eggs. Last week her way is saying, "Thanks for standing up." And yet, every night before bed, I double-check the sensors, count the dogs, make sure every gate's locked. Because peace, I learned, is something you have to fight for, not just expect. So if you ever hear a drone buzzing your fields, or someone tries to tell you what to do with your land, don't just roll over. Stand firm. Your home's worth it. What do you think? Was I right to fight? Or did I go too far? Would you have stood your ground? Or would try to make peace? I want to know, share your story, your take on what's fair, what's justice, and where you draw the line. Let's talk.